9 things that will unconsciously create a negative personality in you. When we think of people with negative personalities, we rarely include ourselves in that number. Somehow, there seems to be no real definition of a negative personality on the internet, but there is a ton of information on positive personalities and how to achieve them. The truth is, we may even be the negative person in our lives without even realizing it. Some scientific studies suggest that structural differences in our brains determine our personalities before we are even born, and there are things that we do that can give us a negative personality over time. While some may not be our fault, but rather due to circumstances, others could be solely our doing. In this video, we will be discussing negative personality traits that can be acquired in life, precisely 9 things that can unconsciously create a negative personality in you. But before we head straight to that, make sure to subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification so you will never miss any of our future videos. Now let's get started. Number 1. Entertaining negative thoughts. Our brains may be hardwired to favor negative things, and that happens on a subconscious level. The kind of negative thinking we want to consider here, though, is the kind that goes on in our conscious mind, the things that our brains tell us in response to everything that happens around us. Negative thoughts are those that cause unpleasant feelings like anxiety and worthlessness in us. These thoughts drag us down, beat us up, and may leave us feeling like strangers to ourselves. Entertaining negative thoughts can lead to pessimism and suspicion in us. We may eventually find ourselves questioning the motives and actions of our loved ones or putting them down with our words. Soon enough, the people around us would start avoiding us for their peace of mind, and we may damage our relationships with other people terribly, or discourage others and push them to say or do hurtful things they never want to do. Allowing thoughts that make us feel bad about ourselves and others is not something we want to do. Number 2. Telling lies. Lying so we don't have to answer tricky questions, lying to save face, lying to get what we want, lying to get out of trouble, lying to manipulate. There are so many ways we could lie and so many excuses we can give for it. We all tell lies to some extent, whether intentionally or not. To some people, lying is harmless or even good. But lies lead to more lies, and we may find ourselves lying about everything. People who constantly lie cannot be trusted, and it gets hard trying to fish out the truth from their words. Manipulators use lying, and we might start lying as a means to control people when we realize just how effective it is. Constantly lying is a negative personality trait, and it can start with something as simple as white lies. Number 3. Excessive neediness. We all need some reassurance every now and then, and sometimes we may say or do some things on purpose to get a soothing response from someone. Being needy is not necessarily a bad thing. We all need a measure of attention, and some may require more than others, but we can't always rely on others to reassure us and not realizing that is the problem. Eventually, excessive neediness may turn into attention-seeking, and we may use dramatics to get that attention. Making everything about us or constantly turning the attention to ourselves can make us toxic people to be around. Resorting to drama to get any attention, even negative attention, is a sign of a negative personality, and we may not even notice when a simple need for reassurance turns into attention-seeking. Number 4. Low confidence. When we have low confidence, we may resort to boasting and lying to feel better about ourselves. Those are attention-seeking behaviors, though, and don't solve the real problem. Going on and on about ourselves or hiding behind lies will not give us more confidence. It can be challenging to be around boastful people, and liars are downright dangerous. Low self-confidence can unconsciously create a negative personality in us through all of its adverse effects. Number 5. Looking for revenge. Vengefulness is not something we would associate with a positive personality. At times, someone may hurt us so badly that we're consumed with a need to hurt them as well. We usually get over those vengeful feelings once the initial hurt and anger dies down. But when we don't let go of these vengeful thoughts, and we keep acting on them, we may become obsessed with getting revenge for every little thing, even when we are wrong. Pettiness is not an attractive trait, and allowing thoughts of revenge to consume us makes us toxic. We need to let go of hurt feelings if we don't want to turn into vengeful people. Number 6. Holding on to grudges. Holding on to grudges has been likened to drinking poison and hoping the other person would die instead. That is a pretty accurate description, since the other person cannot feel what you feel, and dwelling on how they have offended you will not change that. When we hold on to grudges, we allow misunderstandings and hurtful thoughts to have free rein in our mind, and they drain all our energy while they're at it. Holding on to grudges don't only suck our energy, they also make us miserable. How do you feel when you remember something hurtful someone told you? When you hold on to that kind of unpleasantness, you prolong and strengthen your bad feelings. It may start as innocently as you just thinking you will keep the event in mind so that it doesn't get repeated, and before you know it, you would have become an unforgiving person. Number 7. Spending time with negative people. The people we surround ourselves with affect our behavior to a large extent. We've all surely heard that surrounding ourselves with happy or successful people increases our chances of being happy or prosperous by learning from them. Similarly, if we spend time with negative personalities, they may start to rub off on us or even push us into negativity itself. If you notice that someone you regularly spend time with has a negative personality, it is important to remember that it is not your job to fix them, neither do you have to endure. Your mental well-being is paramount, and being around negative people all the time won't do you any favors. Instead, encourage them to seek help. Number 8. Emotional abuse. When we hear of abuse, physical abuse is what usually comes to mind. Its effects are more visible and easy to spot, while emotional abuse can be more difficult to spot and its effects are no less harmful. People who are victims of emotional abuse can develop negative personality traits from it. Victims of emotional abuse are manipulated into questioning themselves. They question their value and lose their confidence. They are subjected to all kinds of verbal barbs and denigrating words. Being in an emotionally abusive relationship with a parent or partner can lead you to become a distrustful person. You may develop a mean streak as a coping mechanism and slowly get more and more negative in your behavior. Abuse doesn't always mean getting hit. It could mean jeopardizing your mental health and becoming a negative person. Number 9. Low self-esteem. We ever noticed how a person with an inferiority complex needs to bring someone down whenever they can? When we have low self-esteem, we look down upon ourselves and avoid voicing our true thoughts or opinions. We take anything that comes our way and have low standards for ourselves. Because of this, we may accept low-paying jobs or stay in toxic relationships, which would only make us feel worse about ourselves. When we don't see our value, we end up thinking others wouldn't like us or accept us, and we may speak negatively about ourselves and have abusive self-talk. Our negative self-perception may cause us to become paranoid and pessimistic. We may lash out at people because of that and deliberately say hurtful things to make us feel better about ourselves. We may start suspecting people of evil intentions because of our disbelief that anyone would like us. The effects of our negative self-esteem could make us push people away and become mistrustful and sour, thinking that they are getting in the way of our success and happiness, which is pathetic. Having a negative personality will slowly push people away from us and make us miserable in our lives. That is why it is necessary to recognize the things that can give us a negative personality, especially those not so obvious, before they do real damage. We hope you liked the video, and if you did, please give us a thumbs up. Also, let us know in the comments section what you think about this video and subscribe for more content.